how painful is it to get mail for you? I mean, is mail a problem for you anymore?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I hate to say I told you so.
All right, yeah.
Wait a minute. Could I hear that again?
I hate to say I told you so.
Okay. People, all you people out there who doubted us, we're not wrong.
What I gotta say, what an absolute. I mean,
Right. Come on, right?
Yeah. So we've covered a lot of Postal Service news,
Right. Live from the
and I think in terms of the most animated, emotional responses. In terms of quantity, right? Like you get the occasional, like, you know, you've crossed them on Lordstown or whatever, and they're going to let you know. But in terms of numbers of loyal fans,
right,
the Postal Service is so polarizing. You either love them or you want to see them burn in hell. I mean, it's like, you know.
This is true, man. We should just do a segment on U.S. Postal Service comments about this new long life vehicle. Or not long life vehicle anymore. Moving into their new their postal delivery truck.
So we've done previous segments. Okay, so this postal truck, this is turning into a soap opera. So you know they first announced they were taking bids for a replacement truck to the LLV, the Grumman LLV, if I'm not mistaken.
You are absolutely correct. Yes, sir.
And they awarded the contract to Oshkosh Defense, the most well-known automotive manufacturer on the planet.
Which, let me stop you there. One of the comments.
Right. This is where I'm going.
Okay. You going to go there? I'll let you have this
no,
one.
it's fine. Go ahead.
It's like, so one of the comments, I rolled. I almost shot water through my nose as I was taking a sip when I read that. They are a manufacturer of overalls, by the way, right? That's pretty much what this guy said.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are they making U.S. Postal Service?
Because I said, like, this is not a traditional automotive manufacturer, and I caught hell from people going, "Come on, idiot! You've never heard of Oshkosh?" And it's like, no, I never said I've never heard. Well, actually, I probably did say I've never heard of them as an automotive manufacturer.
Right. And I knew of Oshkosh Defense, but
that's. Because you're
defense,
looking up
military. Well, but I was in the military. I'm very aware of who they are. But Oshkosh is a place in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're all taking on the name of the town: Oshkosh Clothing, Oshkosh for Babies Crap, and now Oshkosh Defense, and now they're making U.S. Postal Service vehicles. So
then we get more comments that are along the line of, you know, there's no way that they're going to be able to plug these things in, and what's going to happen if they forget to charge them? And it's like, well, you have a routine. Like, these are not difficult.
You got to put
what's
gas in.
What's going to happen if you forget to lock the door to the store at night when you go home? Like, yeah, it could happen. You could forget to plug it in, but
yeah, do your job.
Yeah, it's part of the job. What happens if you forget to deliver my mail? Right?
Exactly.
Like,
right. Well, it's like, well, I mean, the plane doesn't fly itself. I mean, the pilots have to go through a series of checks before they put you in the air. So I mean,
but where are you going to put them? There's no place to put them. It's like, well, you have a gated lot where they keep these mail trucks already.
Right.
I mean, it's not like, you know, it's going to get because they're vandalized. People are going to be using them for their own chart. None of that. And then you get into, like, when we said, well, it's only going to be a little over 11 miles to the gallon fuel economy on the new ones.
On the new ones.
Which really isn't hardly any better than the ones that were made 30 years ago.
Right.
And you get responses that are like, well, that's with the air conditioning on and the windows down.
Right.
Yeah, okay, because it's 95 out in the summer and they're not going to run the air conditioner?
Right.
You're telling me it's going to get 12 miles to that gallon better with the air conditioner off?
Or cold weather's a problem for them. They're going to say in northern states, which is BS. I mean, it is not a problem, guys. In fact, some of the solid state technology that's coming about will actually operate very nicely at minus 30 degrees Celsius. So that's pretty cold.
But I understand there's a lot of loyal postal employees out there that don't like it when they're...
I am the biggest loyal fan of the U.S. Postal Service, and I said that this is great because I feel sorry for the people that are driving around those rags that they're driving around now. this is change that's coming, and I guess people just have a problem with change, and that's it. But you know,
just go. We welcome your comments. They're entertaining at the very least. You know, go ahead. I love the let me educate you on kind of stuff. Occasionally, we do learn something from some of these comments. By and large, everybody, the majority of the comments that we get are people that have about an eighth of the facts calling people that have 75% of the facts stupid.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
It's, yeah.
In a nutshell, can I please have Bert again?
I hate to say I told you so.
Okay, in a nutshell, with these U.S. Postal Service trucks, the mail trucks that are being produced by Oshkosh Defense, initially, the USPS said that they were only going to put about 10% of them being EVs. Well, that has changed. What is the percentage now, Keith? What are they saying?
Well, okay. First of all, let's back up. They got sued by 16 states in the union when they made that announcement.
That'll be a decision maker, right?
Because of the really poor fuel economy and the things that we have previously addressed. Hey, Jay, what are we? The parts counter.
That would be gurus.
There it is. Yeah, there's a reason, everybody, that's in the name. Not saying we're perfect, just saying we tend to have our facts before we go to print. So the answer to your question, Jay, is now they're going to look at doing 50% of the fleet.
Correct.
For the purpose-built mail Jeeps or whatever you want to call them that are going to be electric.
Right. And that's good.
Yeah.
I think that,
like I said, if Amazon can do it with their delivery vans, so can these guys.
I have personally no problem, go ahead and embrace the EV in certain areas. I think it's a no-brainer, whether it's the state mandating that you have better emissions or not. I think it's a no-brainer to kind of fit the need of what purpose it is there.
Right.
So no doubt the gasoline mail truck in certain rural areas is probably the way to go because of lack of infrastructure in case of those situations.
But, sure. No argument here, right?
Right. But each area, each region is going to have some sort of maintenance crew around or available for these situations. You have flat tires. You do run out of gas. And occasionally a valve might break in the engine.
You just get what my mail guy gets, which is occasionally like Amazon, like they ship through the mail service occasionally, and it's on a Sunday, and the guy's like, "I just couldn't make it to your front door," and it's like, really?
I just watched him drive by. You didn't attempt to get in my front door. There you go. So.
But look, I'm not saying gasoline engines are bad.
Nope. We never say that.
I'm just saying, like you said, this is if it's purpose built and it helps in some way, better fuel economy, not barfing emissions into the, whatever it is, right?
Your drivers, maybe have a conscience and they enjoy driving an electric vehicle. Maybe that's their purpose.
And here's another favorite of mine that I saw in the previous segments come. Jay, the Postal Service is not supposed to make money. Well, so wait a minute. So you're telling me that the whole idea behind it is that they lose money hand over fist and then billions of dollars from the taxpayers have to go to deal with that chaos? I understand you're saying they're not supposed to make a huge profit. They're also not supposed to make the massive losses that they're making right now either. And that's a little bit of a side topic. But the expense of these is the biggest factor. That's why I was going there. In why they pushed back to not deploy them, because they were going to cost so much more up front as opposed to the gasoline equivalent. But I would almost argue, and we're going to have to come back and visit this in 5 to 10 years, but the maintenance on these things should be less.
Absolutely.
Cost of ownership should be less.
You're putting tons of mileage on these things. Moving parts will wear, and like I said in the previous two videos that we have done on this. I worked for a company that had one of the largest contracts on rebuilding those engines, and let me tell you, we in some cases couldn't keep up with the product demand to rebuild the thing. So yeah, they're breaking all the time, Granted, they've been out there for a long time, 30 plus years, if not more than that. So it is time to change. So I'm kind of glad to see them committing to this. 50% it's on its upcoming next generation delivery vehicle. Postal vans approved early this year will be battery electric powered.
If you've watched this segment this long, or you've listened to it on the podcast this long, that first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you disagree with this or you agree with this or whatever the case may be, that's fine. That's fine. We're not I'm not in this to persuade, or this isn't debate club. We're just trying to give you the facts, and sometimes we'll throw in a little bit of color, and this happens to be the case on that, probably because of all the history. But you can go tell the Postal Service what you think. Okay, you're right. You're especially if you're here in the United States and you're a taxpayer. They have extended the comment period on this until August 15th.
Correct.
So, we'll try to put a link out here where you can find that. But I'm sure if you just Google it, you're gonna get right to it, and you can just tell the Postmaster General what you think about this plan. And if you disagree with it, tell them that. If you think it's a good move, tell them that. If you think they need to be subscribing to our podcast, you need to tell them that too, because theirs is called Mailing It In, and I can't think of a worse name for... literally, the Postal Service has a podcast called Mailing It. Did you know that?
I did not know that, man. That's almost like the phone company phoning it in. You know what I mean? It's oh, gee whiz. I can give you some of the comments that are already made about this, not on our... But I'll share with you. Let's give you some beef. You want to know where the beef is? The beef is right here. So we got Norm Chacho says, excellent. Delivering mail is an excellent use case for EVs, and they'll no doubt be cheaper in the long run than the gas versions. For extra credit, start installing solar panels on Postal Service buildings. Now see, what have I always said? Innovate or go home.
No, now let's have fun here. Can I read some of the replies?
Absolutely.
Go use some other business as your guinea pigs. This will be a failure.
Ooh, I like the response to that from Norm Chacho. Guinea pigs for what exactly? Commercial solar panels that have been around for 70 plus years, or EVs, which have been around for over 100?
And the Postal, quote, service isn't a business.
Right. It's true. This guy's laid it out.
It isn't, and I know. You're like, it's not a business. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. It's a business.
Oh, and here's someone who's a carrier.
Managed business.
This is from a carrier of the U.S. Postal Service. Vegas Colonel says, my carrier route is less than 100 miles a day, so this would likely work. Smaller countries have had some success with mail delivery via EVs, so we'll see. I agree. You got to be open to it. And again, like we said, in certain rural areas, the EV might not be practical. So I think the approach to being 50% internal combustion engine and 50% EV is probably a smart approach to this.
So this is a good one. We'll let's just we can cut this anytime, but yeah. So not trying FL Forrester here, not trying to be contrary, but with the heat wave going on, various municipalities have urged consumers to cut back electricity usage because the grid is stressed. Yet USPS is going to add 50K electric vehicles, and every car maker imaginable is falling over themselves to go all electric as soon as they can. What will happen in future summers with so many EVs needing daily charging and adding to the grid's burden? It seems like we are not prepared for this influx. You know what? There's some truth to that.
There is.
There's some truth to that.
I just
say
move out
charging those mail trucks during the day.
Exactly. And there's a lot of other appliances that take up just as much energy as these do to charge. So that you're not going to win that case. If I were you, sir, I would move out of Texas. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, there's other parts of the country right now that are 100 plus. I just came out of Arkansas and it was 104. But.
Well, true. But Texas is the one that does not utilize grid usage from other parts of the country.
It is going to be a problem at some point. They're going to stress the grid even more, but I just don't know that adding mail trucks and fleet trucks, those are being charged overnight when there's less demand on the grid. So I don't... Right. It's sort of a valid point that you've manipulated into being more relevant than it is. All right, I'll leave it alone.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to go one more. John 368 here says, I can't believe nobody was smart enough to sit down and say, wow, these vehicles spend the vast majority of their days idling or low-speed stop and go. We should find a better solution than just internal combustion gasoline engines. Even making them conventional, full hybrids would lower fuel consumption considerably. Even more so if they had a plug-in option. These vehicles only drive about 50 to 100 miles per day. It just takes an 8-hour shift because of the stop and go, idling, prep, etc. Look, when you're not, when you have these vehicles and you're not running them, they don't idle. You don't use any energy when you stop.
Well, it'll still run the climate controls, but
it'll still run the climate control, but it's not an idle. It's not like you're running an engine. It's just, that's the thing, man. It's that the context of this is, be mindful that it will not use as much energy as you might think. Wow.
Did you see the response to that? It was all thought through, including the cost of electrical charging infrastructure that doesn't exist and costs money.
Okay, first of all,
you
you're
pay
wrong.
for that with all the fuel costs at the current fuel rate in less than a month, bro. And,
absolutely, and you're
it's
wrong.
Been thought through. They just didn't want to deal with it. Yeah, right.
Exactly. And also, someone says actually the average postal truck drives 18 to 20 miles a day.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, man. It's polarizing. You just get these battle cries on both sides that are like,
right. So here we go. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Like Keith had said, just make sure that you are subscribed to Parts Counter Guru, the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Parts Counter Gurus. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, give us a thumbs up, because all of that stuff helps support our show. And we get to continue to do these things, and we love doing what we're doing. But most importantly, please leave your comment, leave your opinion on this. We have mailbags that we like to read these comments, so we anticipate we'll get some really interesting comments on this. So please do so. So thank you for watching and or listening.